Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, by the time this is posted, probably. Welcome to Deplorable Bostonian News Network. Probably gonna do a slight variation of that. Might do BNN news or something. I'm not sure. I'll probably take a poll or ask you guys to comment to get an idea of what you guys want. But I am your host, Steve Murphy. And so I finally got the new computer, up and running, worked all of the kinks and the bugs out of the software. And this will be the first video with the new computer and the new software. So we'll see how this works out. I got a list of a bunch of videos that will be coming out. So just going to run down a couple ideas that I have of some videos that will be coming out, probably pretty rapid fire. A local story for me anyways, up here in Mass. The Rhino Republican governor that we have up here, Charlie Baker, and his backing of this red flag bill, in which basically anybody can go into a courthouse, go in front of a judge, and they pretty much can take anybody's guns without any real due process. Not that there was really anything left of the Second Amendment up here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts anyways, but it's just one step closer to getting rid of the Second Amendment up here altogether. Another one that I plan on putting out is there was some new footage released of the sheriffs from the Vegas shooting, where the sheriffs in Vegas were the floor below where Stephen Paddock was at Mandalay Bay, and they stood down. Essentially, they knew where he was, they knew exactly what room he was in. They stood there for 5 minutes and then turned and walked away, while citizens, innocent people, were out on the street at that country music festival dying. They turned and walked away. Kind of puts everything into perspective, especially with Broward County sheriffs and their stand down at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. It kind of puts that into perspective. And then I'm going to be doing kind of a deep dive into Robert Mueller. And, a lot of members in Congress have said that Robert Mueller is beyond reproach, and that's laughable. Just a couple days ago, Tucker Carlson had some of the 9/11 families on his show, and they were talking about, they were talking about Robert Mueller not letting them go forward with some lawsuits that they were filing. Robert Mueller was also involved up here in Boston with the FBI and Whitey Bulger, who was the mob boss up here, for an Irish mob boss up here in Southie. So there's a lot of questionable, suspect things that Robert Mueller has been involved in. So I'll be putting out probably a series of videos on Robert Mueller. Anyways, so now that I've bored you on that for just over 4 minutes, we'll get to this video. So this video is on President Trump systematically demolishing and dismantling the abomination that was the presidency of Barack Obama. So this time, President Trump and his administration is getting rid of the series of ridiculous and racist affirmative action policies and documents that were put in place via executive orders by former President Obama, telling colleges and universities to focus on race during college applicants applying to colleges and universities. And Obama was telling these colleges and universities to do this, to focus on race, to promote, quote, diversity and inclusivity on campus, which is bullshit. I mean, this whole narrative, this whole line of diversity is a strength is just complete bullshit. Diversity is not a strength. Meritocracy is a strength. Intelligence is a strength. Diversity is bullshit. So, I mean, affirmative action in itself, you know, in theory, it sounds good. It sounds like maybe it could be a good idea. When it was first thought of, when it first came out, was sort of a type of reparations as a way to pay back people whose ancestors were slaves. But that's not what they're doing now, and that's not the point of these bills. Well, they weren't even really bills, they were executive action. You know, Barack Obama's favorite tool. So what they do is they give blacks and Hispanics spots over ethnic groups, over other ethnic groups, when they have lower test scores. And what this does is it actually puts them at a distinct disadvantage, because the schools that they are dropped into are too advanced. They're being dropped into 5-star schools, Ivy League schools, and the curriculum is too advanced. So what happens, one of three things happens. They either flunk out, they drop out, or they fail out, because they're completely overwhelmed. Where if they weren't dropped into that environment and they were able to take their SATs, take their placement tests, and go into a school that was suited for their needs, they would flourish, and they would be able to pursue their education in an environment conducive to their education. And it would really work for them. And on the flip side of all of this, well, actually, hold on. Let me get to this. University of Texas did a study, and there's a couple of quick bullets that I want to read off to you from this. I'm going to do some overlays when I go back through, and so you guys can see this, and then I'll put the source in the description box. So black college freshmen are more likely to aspire to science or engineering careers than are white freshmen, but mismatch causes blacks to abandon these fields at twice the rate of whites. Blacks who start college interested in pursuing a doctorate and an academic career are twice as likely to be derailed from this path if they attend a school where they are mismatched. About half of black college students rank in the bottom 20% of their class and the bottom 10% in law school. Black law school graduates are 4 times as likely to fail bar exams as are whites. Mismatch explains half of this gap. So that's exactly what I was just talking about. Mismatch. They're mismatched with schools. They're put into schools that are too advanced for them. They're being challenged at a rate that's too intense for them. And it does nobody any good. They're getting spots that would be better served if they were given to other people. And they would be better, and these kids, these blacks and Hispanic kids, would be better served if they were to go to other schools, more geared towards their needs. And what I was about to say before I read off those bulletins is, like I said, it does nobody any good, because the spots that these blacks and Hispanics are taking take spots away from people who could use these spots. For example, Asians. Asians, on average, score much higher than everyone else. But they make up a much smaller percentage of campus populations. And the reason for that is they're discriminated against. Because they score so much higher, they put a cap on it. There's a cap on the number of Asians for any given school, which really isn't fair. And like I said, it does no good. That sets everybody up for failure. Really, is what it does. You're putting everybody into schools where they either can't achieve as much as they potentially could, or they're being challenged too much, and there's no way they can succeed because they're destined for failure. So either way, they're screwing somebody. So this isn't the way this country was set up. The United States is supposed to be a meritocracy, the best of the best. We want the best test takers, the best athletes, the best doctors, nurses, scientists, engineers, physicists, lawyers, you name it. I want the people getting the best scores going to the best schools. I want the best athletes on the best teams. And so on and so forth. God forbid, if I get sick, or one of my kids gets sick, I want to know that the doctor treating me or my kid got into school because they had the best grades. They scored the highest on their tests. I don't want them there because of the color of their skin, or their gender for that matter. I want to know that they're there because they earned it, because they deserve it. You know, and this whole diversity is a strength thing. It's really fucking everything up for everybody. Meritocracy is where it needs to be. If you promote on race, if you accept on race, it's hurting everybody. If you promote on merit, if you accept on merit, it does wonders for everybody. Everybody will achieve their potential. All right? So, again, I'm Steve Murphy, Deplorable Bostonian News Network. If you like what I have to say, or even if you don't, leave a comment below. If you do like what I have to say, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button. You can always go follow me on Twitter at MassholeMaga. If you're feeling generous and you like what I have to say, www.patreon.com/DeplorableBostonian. If you feel like reading some of my stuff, medium.com/@DeplorableBostonian. I also have Facebook, a couple other websites. Those links will be in the description box. Other than that, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Oh, and P.S. By the way, perfect prime example of affirmative action being complete and utter bullshit is Barack Obama himself. Barack Obama, people voted for him simply because of the color of his skin. And he did nothing for this country. Barack Obama was one of, if not the worst president in the history of the United States. I'd say the only other one that was quite possibly maybe as bad as Barack Obama would be Carter, Jimmy Carter. But I'm pretty sure Barack was worse. Barack Obama drove a wedge between the people of this country. This country is so tribal right now. Everybody's in their own little group. He encouraged Black Lives Matter, which is a terrorist organization. They promote violence. He promoted Antifa. He promoted violence. Actively encouraged his supporters to go out and get in people's faces. And throughout his presidency, he did nothing. All executive orders, lied to Congress, lied to the American people. The Iran deal, terrible. Obamacare, complete failure. You can keep your doctor, you can keep your health, you can keep your, he lied about everything. Lowest labor participation rate. Unemployment, highest rate. Lowest number of jobs. Highest number of food stamps. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And he was voted for, again, because of the color of his skin. So this affirmative action, people getting jobs, people getting into schools because of the color of their skin, like I said before, is complete and utter bullshit. Meritocracy. You get stuff because you earned it. You get stuff because you deserve it. And if you don't deserve it, and if you don't earn it, you don't get it. Again, I'm Steve Murphy, Deplorable Bostonian News Network. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Again, go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. Go over to Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, @MassholeMaga. And there's a bunch of links in the description box below. Head on over to any of those and check out all my content on all those links.